just give me your opinion on the trade. I mean, and I want to put the whole Mikko Rantanen thing behind me. I mean, from Colorado side to Carolina to Dallas Stars. I'm guessing the Dallas Stars is the easy one, but give me your thoughts on the three-way, I don't know if it's called three-way deal or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I think we were all surprised. I was certainly surprised when we heard about Rantanen going to Carolina. I mean, Nate Jash is a really good player, but it just felt like Rantanen was part of the backbone and the fiber of the Colorado Avalanche. So it did surprise me. It surprised me in a big way. But in the same breath, Carolina had decided that they wanted to have a little bit bigger presence in their forward group, somebody that had been a big time playoff performer. One of the things Carolina had struggled with was scoring in the playoffs when it got a lot more difficult. And a large part of that was a smaller lineup. So get a bigger winger that's proven. And I thought it was a nice little move and for the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, with respect to that, now you go and get a player. You know he's an unrestricted free agent, and your goal is just to go deeper in the playoffs. I mean, that was their goal in Carolina. And for whatever reason, I guess they thought if they offered him $100 million, he would just say yes. They were probably shocked when he said, no, I'm going to wait. And then I think and I'm going to use the word, I think that's when the panic set in. The panic set in, oh boy, we better get something for him. And I think that's where the Dallas Stars took full advantage. They have an excellent team. They also have a player that I think fits perfectly for Rantanen, and somebody that he's accustomed to the type of player. He's not that player, but Roope Hintz has speed and quickness and drives play with that type of play up the middle of the ice, which is what Rantanen was accustomed to playing with McKinnon. So I think there was a natural fit for Rantanen to come and play. I have to imagine too that during the Four Nations face-off, that Jim Nill gave his Finnish players very clear direction, convinced Rantanen that this is a good place to play. He might not admit that openly, but I think that. And so now the Carolina Hurricanes, I mean, they've won, I think, 7 in a row now. They're still a small team, and they're not a better team than they were when they had Nate Shash. Logan Stankoven's a good young player. You know that. I know that. But they're not a better team now than when they had Nate Shash before they traded for Rantanen. So, okay, this is what you felt you needed to do when you knew you couldn't sign him. But the Dallas Stars are big winners here because they're not just big winners this year. They're going to be big winners as the years go on. You know, Jamie Benn's contract is expiring. So what does a new contract look like for him? You have Granlund's contract coming off the books. So there's lots of room with the salary cap going up, and Rantanen's a big time player.
Go ahead, Sean.
So, Craig,
I want to let Sean go so he doesn't have to do that.
They're going to let me talk here. So, Craig, I wanted to pick your brain on this because one of the things that we've seen after the trade, there's been a lot of he said on various sides of when a deal may have been discussed and everything like that. And you're someone who's been on the inside of those conversations, and you've also been here on the media side. What do you kind of make a little bit of this whole after impact of the? I don't want to say the word posturing, but Carolina saying, hey, we were doing this, and Mikko saying this. What have you kind of made of all of the after effect of it as someone who's had a unique view of being on both sides of this world?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use a Seinfeld reference. Everybody wants to say, "No, it's not you, it's me," right? Like it's that whole thing. Does it matter anymore? Like really, where I get to, Sean, and I'm not trying to be this. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, the truth, it's one side or the other, somewhere in between. Rantanen's a Dallas Star. He's a Dallas Star for the next 8 years beyond this year. Carolina Hurricanes are not a better team. The Colorado Avalanche are still a really good team. And that's the fact of it. I mean, everybody, to me, you get to these points in time where you want to protect yourself. And I get it. I get as a franchise, you want to protect yourself. But at the same time, again, it just doesn't matter. I mean, nothing's going to change here. There's not going to be any redo. Carolina made their bed twice. Dallas Stars have made their bed. Colorado's made their bed. And now we see where it goes. And I think that all in all, on a personal note, I'm a big believer that the players that are part of your group, they're your players and they're good players and they're good people. You know what? Celebrate what they did for you, even if it was only for a few weeks for Rantanen, and move on. Why does there always have to be kind of what I call a degrading of the player? There doesn't need to be. Sometimes you're making a trade just because you're looking for something different. Your contract negotiations come in, but I see it all the time. Where, oh boy, yeah, this player wasn't this or that player wasn't that or whatever. I've never believed in that. I believe that if your players played for you, and I mean, how many times do you run into bad people? You don't. You want to change, and I quite frankly don't like when now all the little whispers come along after the fact.